Hi, my name is Nick, and I will be demonstrating how to diagram a sentence from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Return of the King. So this is the sentence that I have chosen to diagram. As you can see, it is pretty long, so in the interest of time, I will only be demonstrating how to diagram the first part. I've split this up into 4 different diagrams based on where the semicolons are, and I will show you those completed diagrams at the end of my demonstration. So let's get started. The first part of the sentence is, "But at the last, when the month of May was drawing near, the captains of the West set out again." This is its own individual sentence, and it is a declaration, so we'll go ahead and start by labeling it as for sentence and declaration. Now this starts with a coordinating conjunction, which is interesting because in the book this is the start of a brand new paragraph. So it is referencing the previous paragraph by using a coordinating conjunction, which you don't always see. That's just an interesting point. And the next part is all a pre-core adverbial phrase. So we'll go ahead and label that as an adverbial phrase with the function of adverbial. And this is split into a number of different parts, the first of which is a prepositional phrase. And its function is an adverbial complement. We'll leave that in triangle form. The next part is a complementizer. And this is a complementizer that is an adverbial of time. And the time that this is referring to is the month of May, which is drawing near. So this is its own individual sentence with the noun phrase, the month of May, and the predicate phrase was drawing near. We can further split down the noun phrase into 2 parts. The month, which is another noun phrase, and of May, which is a prepositional phrase. And the month is our subject, and of May is a modifier of month. Again, this is a subject. This is our predicate, which we will leave in triangle form. And this whole sentence, the month of May was drawing near, is a complement of when. So that's the first half of the sentence. The second half is our matrix or main clause. So we'll go ahead and start by diagramming that as a sentence. It is a declaration. And the noun phrase is the captains of the West. The predicate phrase is set out again. Now just to show you how to further split these down, I can break this into 2 different parts. The noun phrase and another prepositional phrase. And here the is an article with a function of determiner, and captains is our noun and our subject. In the prepositional phrase, of is the preposition, and it is a modifier of captains. The West is another noun phrase with the as an article, determiner, West as a noun, and is our prepositional complement. And here in the predicate phrase, we will leave that in its triangle form. So there you have how to diagram the first part of the sentence. This is what it looks like zoomed out, completed. This is the second part of the sentence. Now you can see again, starting with a coordinating conjunction, and in the middle, coordinating conjunction, you'll see that conjunctions are a recurring theme in this entire sentence. And this particular part is interesting because it ends with a chain of prepositional phrases. They are not specifically linked together. They're all individually referencing the verb sailed. So that is why they're their own individual prepositional phrases. The next part of this sentence, this is not entirely complicated, but it is interesting to have the adverbial there outside of they remained for one day. This could have easily been said, and they remained there for one day. So it's interesting that this was placed outside for stylistic purposes. It makes it a little tricky to diagram. And last, but certainly not least, is the final clause, the final sentence. And the day after they came to the green fields of the Pelennor, and saw again the white towers under tall Menduluin, the city of the men of Gondor, last memory of Westerness that had passed through the darkness and fire to a new day. Again, starting with the coordinating conjunction, another coordinating conjunction in the middle, and this has a number of interesting parts. The first of which are all of these modifiers of the direct object, the white towers. The main subject is they, which is earlier at the beginning here. And they saw, and what they saw is the white towers, our direct object. And so under tall Mendol Luin is a modifier of towers. The city of the men of Gondor is another modifier of the towers. And last memory of Westerness is another modifier of towers. So these are all individual noun phrases and a prepositional phrase that modify the towers. And at the end here we have an interesting situation with direct objects. We have two direct objects that are coordinated by and. So these are both direct objects. The darkness and fire are what the towers had passed through. So that is in a positive to towers, and the darkness and the fire are what these towers had passed through. So here you have two different noun phrases, two different direct objects, split and coordinated by and, which you don't see too often. And so that is a basic rundown of how to diagram this sentence from Tolkien's Return of the King. I hope it's been informative, and maybe someday you will diagram a bit more of Tolkien for yourself. Thank you.